Hello everyone. Today we're looking at web forms. So web forms are an easy way to receive data directly via your website. In this example, we are using web forms to receive queries from prospective clients. So to create a web form, you would go to your workspace settings and then click on web forms. So here I will create a new web form and it is to receive new lead queries. Now, when a web form is submitted, you can configure the type of workflow to be created. So these are my workflows that I created in previous videos as examples, but for this example, I've defined a specific workflow called the leads, and this workflow handles the conversion of leads from the initial query right through to the conversion. Each web form has a redirect URL, so this is where a prospective lead is redirected to after having submitted data via your web form, and it can be a good way to display a thank you message to the client, for example. So in this example, I have included a page on this example website that says query success, and this is where clients will be redirected to after having submitted their information. All right, let's update that. So when submitting a web form, you can receive data relating to one or more data fields. So for the lead workflow, we don't yet have any data fields. So let's fix that. So I'll go back to my workspace settings, and under workflows, I'll select leads and go to settings. And for our data fields, we essentially only need one data field, which will be a block of text, which is the query received from the prospective lead. Okay, so let's go back to our web forms and let's specify that when the web form is created, you can include the query data field. You can also receive role fields. So for the lead workflow, we don't have any roles yet, but obviously we want to have a client role. So let's go back to our workflows, and under the lead workflow, let's create a role, and that will be the role of type client. Okay, so back in our web forms, we can say that we want to receive the prospective lead's first name, last name, we want an email address, and we also want a telephone number. Let's take a mobile phone number, and for the data field, we want to receive the query. All right, let's update that. Now the process is pretty straightforward. The website will create the code that you simply need to paste onto your field, and this will have all of the various fields for your roles and your data fields. So here you can copy the plain HTML. You can also receive the Bootstrap 4 styled code, and you can also include it in an iframe format. So an iframe is essentially just a little window that gets embedded on your website. So here is an example of the code that I have pasted on our website, and you can see that the various data fields and client fields that we have requested and configured are showing up. So in this example, let's submit an example web form. So for the first name, let's just call it James Dean. The telephone number is 123-46789. James@example.com, and the message is, hi, I would like some more information. Great. Now let's submit that, and you see that it goes through to the query success page, which we have configured. So once the web form has been submitted, you can click at the top here to view your web forms, and here you can see there are various web forms that have been submitted, and it'll give the date and the IP address and a preview of the data fields. So let's click on the example that we've just submitted. That you can see here it is from James Dean. If there is an existing client field, the window will query if it is the same client or not. If it's not, then just don't click this button and it'll create a new contact. And for the new matter name, I just call it James Dean also. And if we then click on process, it will create the new lead type. So that's it, guys. Today we looked at web forms. We looked at how web forms can be an easy and convenient way to receive information from clients and users directly via your website. We've seen how you can create web forms to take any data fields and any contact fields, and how that can be pasted easily on your website in plain HTML, Bootstrap style HTML, or as an iframe. We've seen how once you've submitted a web form, it'll come through to your interface where you can pre-approve the data fields before processing the matter, which will then create the configured matter, in this case, the lead matter. In the next tutorial, we'll be looking at email archiving.